All right. Good evening, Crowder Massive. It's about Caribbean things, all Caribbean things. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Lisette is here with me, the awesome, the gorgeous, the dope Lisette Givens. We are here this evening. And we decided to do this together because the world does not know that Lisette has Caribbean roots. Now everybody know I got Caribbean roots because I always talking about Barbados. Right? Look, she cracking up already, right? So listen, we just wanted to do this for fun. We just wanted to tell y'all a little bit about us. We don't know who's gonna see this, who's gonna come in, who's gonna pop in. But this evening is about all things Caribbean. So let me just
And
tell y'all.
before we jump into it, thank
Okay.
you for the invite, the ultimate boss chick herself. I love the
Uh,
definition of boss chick about women who empower women. Julie, you know when she's in the place because she's always bringing grace into every space.
Amen. I
So
love that. Bringing grace into what?
every
Bringing
space,
grace
every
into
space.
every space, every space.
Yes.
I like that, sis. So this is um the wonderful Lisette Givens. We are in a community together. We share a mentor. We
Yes.
share a community of sisters. And we literally laid eyes on each other for the first time in person in December of 2022. We have been in the community forever. Well, it seems like forever now.
Feels like forever now.
It seems like forever now. So we actually had our first conversation, and it was brief, in December of 2022 at Fire Conference. And we were chatting a couple days ago, and we found out some additional things about each other. It was hilarious. So we felt like we should come on and introduce y'all to the Caribbean things about us, okay? Because I don't think anybody in the community knows that Lisette is has Caribbean descent. She was born and raised in Trinidad, and then she moved here at 2. And so, you know, her parents have Caribbean heritage. Tell the people a little bit. Now, see, we supposed to be in our Caribbean language over here. I keep going back and forth. It's kind of
We're
difficult
supposed
to
to be in
say
our
it here.
accent, girl, in our accent.
Come on, come on, come on with the accent. Come on with the accent. Good evening, Tiandra. Good evening, good evening. We're here chopping it up. We just having it a good time, just having a good time live from Maryland. Thank you for tuning in. So we're talking about all things Caribbean because that's who we are. Amen. So
Amen.
come on, Liz, give it.
So, yes, as you mentioned, I was born in Trinidad. My mother is from Jamaica. My father's from Trinidad. Them call me mix up.
Mix up,
Mix
mix
up
up. Mhm.
because the common thing is that, Jamaican people and Trinidadian people, they don't always get along. So people are like, how did that happen?
It was a mix up.
It was a mix up.
Yeah.
Um, So as you mentioned, we moved to actually California when I was 2, and we moved to Maryland when I was 4. But I grew up with a community of like aunties and uncles and cousins for as long as I can remember. And my mom, she really believed in things like education and experiences. So she would invest in travel. My parents would invest in travel.
Hold on. People, did you hear the word? Did you hear the word? Education, not education.
Education, not education, education. Like just
Education.
take out the U and put in an I. Education.
See, so that's what we're talking about. All the words. We starting out with words basically, but all the words, like the dialect is so strong on the Trini and the Jamaican and the Barbadian side that sometimes even for me, born and raised in Barbados, I still have to ask. So where I said? Yeah.
Yes. And it's like when you go
Mhm.
home, people know you're not from there. You don't know the
Yes.
latest phrases and slang and expressions that are popular at the time. So you might be a little bit behind the curve, but when I would we would go like summer or Christmas, and my cousins would catch me up
Yeah,
what to
yeah,
say
yeah,
and what
yeah,
not to say. So, but yeah,
yeah.
speaking of words, growing up, I never realized that I was saying certain words differently from other people. Even when
Mm.
I wasn't trying, even when I wasn't trying to speak patois, I would say mosquito, mosquito.
Mosquito.
Even when I was just talking normally, mosquito, and they'd be like, "Why do you say it like that?" I'd be like, "Say it like what?" And they said, "It's mosquito." I'd be like, "No, man, it's mosquito, mosquito."
Mosquito. And how they say it? How they say it in the Bajan? Mosquito, mosquito. No, mosquito,
Mosquito.
mosquito, mosquito,
Yeah.
mosquito. Okay. Yes. There's a whole different. There's English, then there's the dialect, aka Patois.
Yes. And if
That's what
people
we got.
talk too fast, even when I go home, I don't understand. Or some of the
Mhm.
slang, you kind of just trying to pick it up off context clues. I
Yeah.
remember when I was when I when I was younger, my grandmother's sister, she lived in country. So
Hmm.
in the Caribbean, there's town and there's country.
And yes,
Like there's the
yes,
main city area and suburban area. Everything else is country. So
everything.
my
Yes.
grandmother's sister, she lived in country and she
Mm-hmm.
had like goats and animals and chickens, and then there were the resident like puppies and kittens running around. And my aunts always remind me that when I first came there, I said, "My, this is a real country farm." So it's like just a different experience, and probably similar to folks who have family down in island and in the south.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you
Mm-hmm.
go and it's a different way of life. So I'm grateful that was
Yeah.
part of my experience going home.
It's and I think this is the way it is across the board for uh all Caribbean people. Well, let's say the Eastern Caribbean people, right? So like Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent, Trinidad.
Hmm.
What else is close to us on that curve? Um,
Um, how far is like Grenada and
Grenada, Guyana, right? St. Kitts, Dominica. Wait, hold on. Not the Dominican Republic, Dominica.
Dominica?
Okay. Dominica. That's how it is. That's how you say it.
Yeah.
But so for me coming up in Barbados, I was born and raised there, lived there until I was 15. I was in my last year of high school. So I didn't get to graduate there. My mother decided, oh yes, it's time for one to come. So hold on. You would think there wasn't a whole University of the West Indies and Barbados. Come on, somebody.
Mm.
But the you know how they say it, how do you say it? But the mother the mother caddy square, right? So you don't get to decide at 15 that you ain't coming to wait. Let me say it like the Jamaicans will say it. You ain't gonna get at 15 years old to say you can't go a far in.
Yes.
You don't want to
If,
go a
if
far in.
if mommy come home and she says it's time to go a foreign you gone.
A far in you're gone. So you get on look, you ain't gotta buy a plane ticket or nothing. All of that is taken care of by your mother. Okay. And you just be ready to get on that plane to go a far in because she has a plan in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you would think that there were not any colleges in Barbados, or the University of the West Indies was not in Barbados. Oh my God. You would have
No,
thought.
she wanted you with her.
Yes. And the other thing is that hey Ivy, thanks for tuning in. And you would think we talking about all things Caribbean. We just thought it would be funny, you know, and cool to just come together because I know a lot of people in the community doesn't know that Lisette has Caribbean background and heritage. Okay. So we talking about that. So right now we talked about words. Now we talking about when they come and get you. When they come and get you, you all settle, you settle in your friends, you settle in the boyfriend if you got one,
Mm.
because me had one, right? If you settle in the boyfriend, if you settle in the friends, if you settle in the school, all of that, right? And then they come and snatch you. It's like a snatch.
And that's the reality for a lot of people is that,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, mother, father, somebody is going to
Hmm.
seek opportunity outside.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my
Exposure.
parents, they came up for graduate school. They did go to University of West Indies, but
Hmm.
even my father, the way my father and mother met was because his father was teaching at UWI, and so he they moved from Trinidad to Jamaica. Otherwise, they may not have met, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And and so you go where the opportunity is, and they both went to grad school in California.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
at the end of grad school, if you're not in a job, aka you do not have any job, then you're going back where you came from. So
Yeah, good.
fortunately, right, you have to go back
Hmm.
because you can't stay here. If you don't have no
Hmm.
work visa, you don't have no job. And at the time, my mom got a job here in the DC area. And so we ended up here, but she was on a visa, a G4 visa. We weren't citizens, we weren't permanent residents yet. Well, by that time, but I was born in Trinidad, so I was not a citizen. Um,
Hmm.
and so we moved to DC. Otherwise, life would have been very different. Maybe I would have come up like you when I was 15, right?
Yeah,
So,
and for some reason, I never got to experience, because when you are the youngest, right? When you are the youngest of four siblings, you don't get to do a lot of what the older siblings do, which
mhm.
is because they were older, they got to work there, have buy houses there. I mean, live there and be adults there and do all these things that I wanted to do. But because I was a minor, my mother was not having it. So my sister and I came here together. She was 18, 19, I was 15.
Okay.
And so still up here in the head, I still want to retire there because I want to experience living there as an adult.
Mhm.
Make
Mhm.
sense? So there's that. Um Once I got here, so for all of the people that love us, please don't think that we don't love America. We love
Right.
America. We love America. We just talk about the um the Caribbean way and the way we came up, right? And even if you came at two, you still have the Caribbean way in the house with you when your mother and
Mhm.
your father are born in that place in the Caribbean.
So that's a great segue. Let's talk about how we parents did different because them come from somewhere else.
Mm.
Like, may I give you one example, Julie? So my father used to make me cheese and jelly sandwich carry for lunch go to school. Jelly
Mm.
and cheese sandwich.
Mm.
And I remember everybody else have peanut butter and jelly. Me have cheese and jelly. I said, years later, I said, Daddy, you remember you used to make me jelly and cheese sandwich? Why? It's like, what's wrong with that? So it's like just the little differences that I look back on now, like, man, another thing Daddy used to do, and I tease him about this, I joke with him about this. He used to
Mhm.
be like, here, put some mayonnaise on your toast. Like breakfast time in the morning, put mayonnaise on my toast. No, man, a butter. Butter we put on toast. Things like that, where, it's a
Yeah,
new culture, a new space, a new type
yeah.
of grocery store, new food for breakfast, all these different things. So things that are, small, but were
Mhm.
different in our
Yeah,
household growing up.
yeah. And the other thing that don't change, the food.
Mm.
The other thing that don't change is the food and manners. Because you come up with manners, you're going to stay with manners. And
Mm,
no matter where I go, wait a minute. Wait. When I went back home in 2017, let me tell you this.
mm.
Girl, I had to get my life. How you how girl, I had to get my life. I was like, how you gonna go back to Barbados and forget that when people speak to you, you're supposed to speak back?
Oh my.
Strangers,
Oh my.
strangers.
Oh
And
my.
if you don't speak back, they give the dirty look.
Yes.
Yes. And if you want to know what the dirty look is, it's the look that is so is the mama look. That look that your mom used to give you when you were little, when you were out of order, before she comes snatch you. Because you get the look first. You get the look first, and then you get the snatch.
Mm, mm, mm.
Right? Because you know, number one, you know that you out to order doing whatever you're doing, and you looking at she looking at you, and she's like waiting for you to like be like get your life. Meanwhile, you just looking at her waiting for the snatch to come. It's real. It's real.
Oh.
It's real. So there was the snatching, there was the manners. I had to get my manners together quick when strangers would speak to me in the night, in the day, in the whatever time it is. When you walk into a store, you better speak. You better say hello. You better say, look, whatever time of day it is. If it is morning, say morning. It is afternoon, say afternoon. Good afternoon. If it is evening, say good evening. But there they say good night.
Yes, good night.
They say good night if it's nighttime, right? So it's like, look, I had to get myself together. I was like, girl, you forgot. You forgot.
Right?
You forgot where you are. Folks speak to you.
Yes,
And listen, them ain't speaking to have conversation. They speaking just because it's mannerly,
yes, yes, yes.
right?
Different here.
Yeah,
Here, strangers, you don't expect them to speak to you. They don't expect you to speak to them. Every once in a while, if people feeling friendly type of thing, but
yeah.
it's not
Every
regular.
once, every once in a while, if the feeling friendly is true.
If they feeling friendly.
And then if they're too friendly, you looking at them like, you
Wait
know,
one.
where you want? You need to back up. You're too close.
Hi.
Oh my God. But there's that. What else? So let's talk about
Food.
food. Let's talk
Yeah.
about food. All right. You want to go first?
So, what you want to talk about first? Favorite food or food we can cook?
Food we can't cook.
Okay, so I was telling Julie, there are three things that I make very well. I learned how to make a boss black cake, is my granny's recipe from 19 Ho Long, which means 19 many years ago, 19 Ho Long, many years ago. Um,
19, how long?
19
Yes.
Ho Long. And that is something I never had opportunity to bake with my granny, but
Mm-hmm.
because she died when I was around 8.
Yeah.
Um, but she was one of my favorite people. I loved her so much. I had such strong memories of her when we went to visit her in Trinidad. She wore Obsession perfume, and I
Mm.
remember standing in her room in her dressing area, and it's nighttime, so she had the lights around the mirror, and I remember the smell of her lipstick and the smell of her Obsession perfume. I loved her so much. And so I started baking black cake with my dad and my sister several years ago, and every year Christmas time we bake together. And then I started also selling black cake. But so black cake is my number one, what that really can make good.
Mm-hmm.
Number
But
two,
hold on. I'm
yes,
sorry, Miss. When you gotta jump in with Caribbean people, you gotta jump
yes,
in and
you
say,
have to jump in because
hold
we
on.
can't chat, man.
You have to say, hold on. Tell the people about what the black cake is, girl. You gotta tell
Oh
the
yes, them
black
like
people
black
what the black
cake. What you
cake.
mean? Okay, okay. So black cake it's like a remnant from colonialism. The British them did have like plum pudding, right? And we lots of islands have their own version of black cake with different kind of nuances to it, right? But
Mhm.
it's basically lots of fruits, raisins, currants, prunes, candied fruit peel, candied cherries for my recipe, and you make like you boil the fruit and you put it does have alcohol, it does have rum, and you put it aside and you let it soak and sit. And then like I've soaked fruits for black cake for up to a year before. You could really keep soaking them
Mhm.
for a long time, and longer the better. And then it's a basic cake recipe, but you fold in the fruits, and we use burnt sugar browning.
Mhm.
In the back in the day, they made their own. Now you can buy it, and that gives it its dark color, but it's very moist. It's dense, and it is like a tradition. It's been a tradition for years in many Caribbean islands around the holidays and also around Easter. So that's what black cake is.
Yes, that is exactly what black cake is. And in Barbados, we some people, most people that I knew, family members, they made it with port wine.
Ah,
Um,
ah,
and you, Lisette said, you know, you will put all the fruits and stuff to soak. They call it soak, so
yeah.
that everything can marinate together, and you can soak it for up to a year. But baby, let me tell you something.
Mm.
One slice of the black cake, one slice.
One
And
small slice, no. One small slice.
one small slice can
One.
cause you to go to the toilet for at least 3 times. Listen, you want a diuretic? Eat some black cake. Some
It's
black cake that been
all them good
soaking.
things, all them good things inside there, the prunes, the raisins, the
Yes,
currants, everything.
yes. What kind of takes it over to the other side is the wine or whatever
Yeah.
uh alcoholic beverage you decide to put in there. But this is also a cake that is used for weddings.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, you ever see a cake where the people what do you call it? Put the icing on. You put the
Yep.
icing on it, and you
Yep.
build all these layers for a wedding cake. You can have 5 or 6 layers of that thing. The thing's so beautiful, baby. You cut into that thing, or you're gonna see the icing on the outside, and then you're gonna see the black part
On the inside.
on the inside, right? And I mean, for for as long as I have been alive, I am 54. For as long as I've been alive, that black cake been around. So clearly it been
Yes.
around before we were around.
Yes.
And still Easter, Christmas,
Wedding.
especially Christmas, my
Hmm.
sister makes that cake. Folk be calling, cousins be calling, where you sending the black cake in your mail? I can't eat it no more, right?
Yeah.
So I don't play with it. But you're sending the black cake or the sweet bread,
Mm.
right? So it's every Christmas, my sister, she goes in on the black cake, okay? And people still make those cakes. I mean, people pay
Big
tons of
money.
money to
Big
get
money.
those cakes for weddings.
Yes.
It's a thing.
It's
It's
a
a
thing. It's a
Caribbean
whole
thing.
thing. It's a Caribbean thing. Yes.
It's a Caribbean thing for real. And so like to talk about next thing we could talk about is the stuff I can't cook or make, black cake. I'm not even gonna learn how to do that because I don't even eat it no more, right? But it was never a love to or a need to try to make that
Mhm.
cake. Why I need
Mhm.
to do that? My sister does it every year.
Mhm. Mhm.
Been doing it since we were young, okay? Because she picked up my mom's baton of baking and cooking and carrying on. Listen, I clean. I don't bake and cook like that.
Baking, cooking, no, I don't need that.
Bake and
I don't need that. That
cook,
is not me.
right? I'm cleaning. I'm cleaning. You listen. I take the hose down, put it back up. Look, I cleaning. I ain't cooking nothing. Look, you gonna get the basics, okay? No oxtails,
That is
rice
where
and
your
peas.
anointing lies. That's where your anointing lies.
Oxtails, rice and peas. Um,
I
and
can't
it
cook
is.
oxtail. I
I
can't cook
cannot.
oxtail.
I cannot.
And true confession.
Hmm.
I just learned probably in the last year, my bestie teach me how to make rice and peas in a pot because I couldn't make rice and peas in a pot.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but I must say, Lisette, if you got Caribbean descent, the one thing you need to
I
know how to
know.
cook is rice and peas.
Child, me don't know what happened to me and rice. Period. Not even just the peas with the rice and peas, rice in general. And you know much Caribbean people eat holy pie rice, but me,
What rice?
rice cooker me use.
And don't come with the white rice. Don't come.
No,
Don't come
no.
with the
That's
white
the other
rice.
thing with it. That's the other thing we didn't
Mm-mm.
talk about. When you when
Yes.
you cook rice and peas, you have to use the red peas. They're very bright red. That is
Mm-hmm.
what you must use inside there. So, because if
Mm-hmm.
you use anything else, the big one, we're kind of pinkish. No. If you
Mm-hmm.
use black bean, no. That is not rice and peas. Because
Yes.
your rice, when you are finished, I know enough to know this. Because me can't cook it, but me know when it's still good. It must have that reddish brownish
No.
color in the rice. If only your peas, and we have to back up too because we're calling it peas, but everyone knows it as beans. But we
Right.
call it rice and peas, but it's a red kidney bean, and I like the small ones because they're very, very red, right?
Yes. Yes.
So the rice should be reddish brown, not just the peas, because if your rice is white, when you finish make rice and peas, it don't
Mm-mm.
stay right.
It
It
don't.
don't stay right.
It comes together, and it's it don't stay right. It don't look right.
Mm-mm.
It's reddish brown rice, reddish
Reddish brown.
brown rice with the reddish brown peas,
Yes.
aka beans for the people that live here.
Yes.
Right, but Caribbean people don't say beans, we say peas, because if you say beans, they're going to think you mean beans for real that grow on the tree in the yard, in the backyard. You can go up on the pea tree and pick the darn peas, right?
Yes. Yes.
And pick the beans. So don't say beans, you got to
Yes.
say rice and peas,
Rice and peas.
so they know we are talk about.
Yes.
Right, and they not looking at you funny, because the next thing they're going to do is ask you, well, which one you want, which one you want, right? So, hey, Felicia, we're talking about all things Caribbean, sis. You might have to come back and listen to the replay so you can get it from the top. Um, but yes, so oxtail rice and peas, me can't cook that. Me tried to cook that one time. Lord,
Mm.
Lord.
Mm.
It it wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect, It
Yeah.
wasn't the way that if you go to the Jamaican store and buy a platter that you can't, you'd be like, dang, that's not it.
She said, I tried. I did try, I tried.
I did, and I got the recipe from a Jamaican guy that
Mm.
can put his foot in the pot and it's gonna taste good. I mean,
Mm.
the man can cook here, and I got
Mm.
the
Mm.
recipe from him. Nowhere near that. Nowhere near
It never
the
come
way
out
how
right.
how his
Mm.
would taste, right? But at least I could say I tried it. Now, I wasn't, if I wanted to be more, acceptable in cooking it, I probably would have had to, keep trying, but I wasn't, cooking is not my thing. Cleaning is my thing.
Yeah.
Creating things is my thing. That's what I do.
So tell me, you say you can't cook oxtail and thing, but what can you cook? You know, say you don't really like to cook. What is your go-to dish that you can cook?
Well, my go-to dish that I can cook is not Caribbean. But I
Oh,
will say the Caribbean dish that I can cook is rice and peas with chicken stew.
okay.
I can cook that. My sister taught me how to cook that, right? And I can fry up some plantain. You know, you can fry the plantain if it's ripe enough. You can fry the plantain, and
Mm-hmm.
or you can cook it, which you can cook it. Just take the peels off, put it in the
Mm-hmm.
pot, and let it cook. You can cook it that
Mm-hmm.
way, or you can fry it if it's ripe enough. Now, the green banana situation, I don't do that.
You know the green banana? Love
No,
me some green banana, girl.
no, it has to
Me
have
love
it.
off green banana, you see.
No, mm-mm, no,
And and
I don't like
and
that.
and my bestie would. It was a time when we did just step on like liver and onions vibes, okay?
Mm.
And I love off the onion and the liver gravy, and she love off the liver. So she would have make that, and I take the liver and the gravy with the green banana. What? So
Girl,
good.
let me tell you about the liver. First of all, I don't know how many years it's been since I didn't have no liver gravy on food.
Girl.
My daughter is 29. It's probably that long.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And in the earlier years, like in the 90s, my stepdad used to cook it a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, and hold on. And remember mackerel?
Oh yes.
Mackerel gravy, girl.
Yes,
Mackerel
child.
gravy. Jesus, you got some rice and you pour that over some rice. What?
Mm-mm-mm.
And
So
then,
they
yes.
mm, my grand when I would go to my grandmother's house in Jamaica, they would do mackerel in like tomato sauce, like tomato paste and sauce like that,
Mm,
or mackerel rundown, which is like, and it would have coconut milk and um like flour to thicken it, so it's
yeah,
white.
yeah,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
you'd have rundown like that.
yeah.
But
That sounds good though. I bet you if somebody cooked it now, we would eat it.
oh yes, oh yes,
Yes, we would eat
oh
it.
yes.
My all-time favorite food is cuckoo and saltfish.
So you have to tell the people what cuckoo is because you did have to tell me too.
Yes, yes. Cuckoo is okay. So meal corn, is that I don't know.
Cornmeal, cornmeal.
Cornmeal. Sorry. Well,
Mhm.
my country stepfather says meal corn, okay? But
Meal corn.
cornmeal, okay? Cornmeal mix up with the okra because I think you got to cook the okra first. You
Mhm.
cook the okra first, and somehow there got to be some salt in there. I think he used to put onions. I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
And somehow you gotta mix it up till it reaches the consistency. And for
Mhm.
some reason, I have never seen it flat. It was always in a dome, always in a
So
dome.
it's not soupy. It's solid.
It's solid, yes, solid
Ah,
soft, not solid hard.
solid soft, like
Yeah,
almost like fufu.
yeah,
How them eat fufu? Okay. Okay.
right. But the okra, however you season the okra, however you eat the okra, and put it, you put it in so you can mix them up because the gravy separate.
Mm.
It ain't no gravy on top of that. You gotta cook it. You gotta cook the gravy separate.
Mm.
So in the gravy it's either gonna be salt fish gravy
Mm.
or mackerel gravy, or I think one time we had stew chicken with it too.
Okay.
Right? So the gravies are always separate, so you can pour it. And I oh my gosh, I like the big round bowl because however whatever container you put it in is going to take the shape of the container, and it's
Mhm.
normally going to be something round, right?
Mhm.
And once you put it in the bowl, baby, and pour that pour that gravy over it. Ooh, I used to like mine swimming. I used to like mine with the gravy up up
Up
above
to
the
the brim.
cooker.
Drowned
Yes.
in gravy.
Droning, drowning deep in the gravy, girl. Deep. Okay. It was something. I miss eating it actually. I gotta ask him why he stopped making it. My stepdad.
Mhm. Maybe
But that
maybe
is
he'll
a
make
food.
some for you.
That's a food I don't know how to cook. I just know that I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
forgot to tell the people flying fish. Okay. So um
Fine fish.
flying fish is a fish. It has wings, and it does like the dolphins do here. They come up, they jump down, they do that, up, down, back in the water, up, back in the water. Right? It is one of Barbados's biggest money makers for fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like we were talking the other day, uh there's markets. I don't know how to describe that here, but there's fish markets where there's nothing but fish, fresh fish. I'm not talking about fish that been sitting for 2 days with ice. Nah, I'm talking about fresh fish every single day that the fishermen went out and caught and brought it back and bring it to the fish market and sell it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So hi, Ann Russell, Penny Feather. We here talking about Caribbean things. Anne is from Barbados. I wish
Hi,
she was.
Anne.
I wish she was on here so she could tell the people for real, right? But we just on here talking about Caribbean things, Caribbean food, the food we can cook, the food everybody else can cook and we can't cook. And I was just explaining about cuckoo and saltfish, so I had to give a description of cuckoo and saltfish, and right. So that's where we are. So I'm. What else? What else can I cook? I'm sure there's a whole bunch of things, but everything revolves around rice. Rice on some. First of all, it's a thing. It's a thing. Yes, and yummy, right? It's a thing. On Sundays, if you're not cooking in Barbados, well, at least when I was growing up, on Sundays when I was growing up, it was it was rice and peas, gravy, and then the gravy could be any type of meat. Hey, dear,
Mm-hmm.
any type of meat. It could be fried. It could be fried chicken put in the meat. So let me tell you how my mother used to do it.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, rice and peas and chicken every Sunday. And listen, don't divert. Don't divert from the Sunday meal. If you're gonna do anything, add it, but don't divert from the rice and chicken. Please don't. Rice
Uh-oh.
and peas and chicken. So then you're gonna have, yes, and some macaroni pie, not
Ah,
macaroni and cheese.
macaroni pie.
Macaroni pie. What you know about that, Lisette?
Well, let me tell you something funny here because I used to call what I make mac and cheese,
Mm.
But I watched a video one time and the guy said, okay, Jamaicans. Yes, you can cook, we get it. But let's just set the record straight. That's not mac and cheese. It's macaroni pie. Let's call it what it is. And I said, that's it.
Yes.
I make macaroni pie.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's one thing that I make and make well. But I always was like, mac and cheese, but here mac and cheese can be soft, it can be liquidy.
Mhm.
It does not have
Yeah.
to be baked in the oven, or even if it is, it's still soft, right?
Yeah.
Whereas macaroni
Yeah.
pie is firm, you can slice it.
You can slice it like
You
a
can
cake.
slice it.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
And it's a whole, tell the people about the big platters, like the big baking pans that they used to put it in. And don't let it be macaroni pie for a wedding, a macaroni pie for Christmas, a macaroni pie for Easter, a macaroni pie for any occasion. It's not no one little small thing like this here. It's a
No.
big something,
Yes.
because people gonna be coming back for seconds if it's good. And I don't know any Caribbean person that can cook good, especially the ones that like to cook, right? And the macaroni and cheese is the thing. You got at Christmas time, you gotta have it.
Yes. And so I would make that. That would be the thing. Like now here, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I would make. I would make it. Take it to work when we had our like holiday potlucks,
Mhm.
and I did one that was like a spicy one, and I even added like some jerk seasoning in there.
Yeah.
What? So good. I did that. They
Listen.
had a mac and cheese bake off at work, and I didn't win, but I went and I said, "What place was I? What place was I?" They were like, "You were in second place." I was like, "Yes." Like,
Yeah, because they don't know about the macaroni pie unless they have Caribbean descent, or
right.
unless they find a recipe, right? Because you can go online and find Caribbean recipes anywhere on Google, right?
Yes. But
But
make sure if the picture have some white rice, don't pick that recipe.
don't pick the right rice.
If the
Do
rice
not
and
pick
peas picture have white rice, pick another one.
the rice and peas. If it's white rice, don't pick that one. Don't pick
Yes.
that one.
Don't do that.
If you want to do a Caribbean Sunday dinner, or a Bajan Sunday dinner, a Jamaican Sunday dinner, um, Dia said it's the accents for her. That's why we here doing it. That's why we doing it, Dia. That's why we doing it, because you got to go back and listen to from the beginning, because the community doesn't know that Lisette has Trinidadian and Jamaican descent, right? So we had to come on and chop it up and talk about food, talk about what we can cook, what we can't cook. Listen, and look, we ain't got no problem saying we can't cook a particular Caribbean meal. Okay? Like,
Look, I have no shame because
none. No
as I
shame.
mentioned, my best friend,
None.
she's a chef. She can cook it. If me really want it, we will ask her to cook it for me.
Yes.
But
No shame. Listen, back to the Sunday dinner.
yes,
Um, rice and peas, no white rice.
no
Again,
white
no
rice.
white rice. Rice and peas, chicken in the gravy or fried chicken. It could be one or the other, or
Hmm.
chicken stew. Okay.
Hmm.
Then you're going to have the macaroni pie. Then you're going to have coleslaw.
Oh wow! And see, in Jamaica, at grandma's house, we never have macaroni pie so much or coleslaw. We would definitely have rice and peas and chicken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rice and please. Yes, I said cuckoo. I can't cook cuckoo. I no shame, none, none, and none, no shame. But guess what? I love it. I haven't had it in years. My stepdad stopped cooking it years ago. I don't know why. I need to ask him when I
Mm-hmm.
talk to him. But no, I'm ashamed.
No
Shame,
shame.
no shame at all, none. But um it's good to know the heritage. It's good to know what you grew up with, and there's some things stick with you, like the
Mm-hmm.
Sunday dinner stick with me, because even before my mom got sick, uh she was cooking Sunday dinners and cooking the whole thing that I just mentioned: rice and peas, fried chicken, or the chicken in the gravy, right? And which is
Mm-hmm.
actually my preference still. um and there had to be vegetables. There must be vegetables with every meal.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's salad, you could have in Jamaica them do the shaved carrot and
Mhm.
cabbage and tomato, and you might have avocado, what them called pear. They don't call it
Right,
avocado, they call it
right.
pear.
I was just talking about that with some of the girls in the practitioner meeting. It's called peer, y'all.
Pear.
Look, in the Caribbean, you can go out in the backyard and you got trees, you got mango trees, you got pear trees, you got grape trees, you got banana trees, right?
Breadfruit
And you
tree.
can go breadfruit trees. Oh, by the way, that's another thing. Breadfruit cuckoo, they got that. I don't know how to
Ah,
do that either.
I
Right?
love I love
But
breadfruit, roast breadfruit.
oh my God, that is good. Breadfruit, roast breadfruit. I haven't had since I was a kid. Back in the day when you go in the yard or you in somebody else's yard, and what they call the fire pit now. We done got bougie. What
Yes.
what they now call the fire pit, because you got a fire pit in the yard. No, no, we would go outside, put some stones together, get the what would we get? Put some stones
You get
together,
the leaves,
the
the leaves from the
leaves,
trees and things.
the leaves from the trees. You make sure you have the stones there because you don't want to burn down the house, right? And you put some kind of what they call it, tin in,
Yes.
aka aluminum,
File, file, aka foil, file.
right, on top, and put the breadfruit on top of there. You put whatever seasoning you want on top of it, and you cook it just like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't talk about conkeys. I forget about them. But guess what? I don't like them. I never liked them.
You
And
never like punk?
nah,
Ah.
my sister still makes those.
Oh wow.
Mm-mm. I was never a lover of those. It's all wrap up in it got raisins in it. And what do you make that with? What do you make that with, Lisette?
What is that? You talking about like it wrap up in banana leaves and it have the
Yes,
raisins something inside it.
yes,
So
we call it
they call it
conkeys.
we call it pastel. They call it pastel in Trinidad.
Okay,
And
conkeys in Barbados.
so it's cornmeal. It's cornmeal, and you have ours has ground beef, capers, olives, and I'm forgetting raisins.
Yeah, raisins. I,
Yes,
I,
and you
I
wrap it
you
up
know,
in other banana leaves and steam
yeah,
it.
and steam it, and it wouldn't take long. I used to watch my mom and them do them years ago when I was little. I was like, I don't know, no, thanks, but no.
Yeah, my dad and my sister make those every year. So we do black cake, and then them two do the they call them pastels.
So Ann Russell Penny Feather, you still a cook conkeys? Put it in the chat if you still on. You still cooking the Bajan way? Are you you still cooking the Bajan way? Are you like me where you just kind of in between? She might not be there.
Hmm.
It's okay. I just am. I don't. All I know is that I grew up eating all sorts of things that I probably, most of them I didn't like.
Mm.
But when it came down to the rice and peas on Sunday, Sunday was my best. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Macaroni and cheese coming, macaroni pie coming, really. Macaroni pie coming, coleslaw coming, veggies coming, rice and peas coming. It's big. And then lemonade, girl, or
Oh, wait a minute
or
though.
Marby, or
Marby.
or
So Marby
sorrel,
is a Trinity
or
thing. Marby is a
sorrel.
Trinity thing. Yes,
Yes.
and sorrel. So like, okay, what about this? You remember the strawberry syrup? You ever
Mm-hmm.
make
Mm-hmm.
so that
Yes.
used to be my favorite when grandma would make some like punch and she put in the strawberry syrup. She put in like lemon and lime juice
Mm-hmm.
and water and make punch. Mm,
Girl. Mobby. All you needed
yeah.
was some Mobby syrup, girl. Super, 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 super ice cold. Or if you want to go old school, you use the bark. What? You
Oh
you like
no.
you like it cold and bitter? You like it cold and bitter with a little bit of sugar. That's it. But
Mm.
if you want it new fashion, you know the word. If you want it new fashion, you gonna use the syrup.
Yes, I was new fashion because I barely did dip on the Mobby tip. That was Daddy. Daddy did love him Mobby.
Yeah. And the sorrel. Yeah, see, Anne, the bark was the best. Anne said the bark was the best. She also said cornmeal, coconut, sweet potato are the main things in the conkeys.
Oh, okay, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those are the four main things. But
okay.
listen, I I don't know. All I know is back in 2017, I'm going to switch a minute because I know we got to go soon because I have a meeting at 7 too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 2017 was the last time I went home. And I had a plan, Liz. I had a
Mm.
plan for the beach.
Mm.
I had a plan for the beach. And let me tell you, every time I wanted to go to the beach, it rained. Every single time. I said, Lord, what you trying to say? I'm not supposed to go to the beach? How you gonna
Hush,
go to a Caribbean country and don't go to the beach?
hush.
Hush, indeed. Right? I was like, what's up with this? What's up with this?
Mm-mm.
I was there
Rainy
for
season.
16 days. 16 days I was there. Didn't get to go to the beach at all, at all, at all. I didn't get to put my foot in no sand. I didn't get to let the water rush up on my ankles. I didn't get to go
Nothing.
to my favorite beach, Miami Beach, which was literally, let me tell you how close I lived to the beach growing up.
Mm.
Let me see something that you're familiar with. Okay, you know the hotel that we stay at when Pastor Sean has her
Mm-hmm.
conferences
Mm-hmm.
at the Holiday Garden Inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how close to the beach I lived. You come out the door at the hotel and you walk down, like you come out and you make a right or a right, and you go to the light. That's how close I live to the beach.
Girl.
So let me tell you, if one tsunami had ever come, listen, if one tidal wave come, let me tell you, the country done. That's
Uh-oh.
how close. That's how close I
Wow.
live to the beach when I was growing up.
Wow.
But guess what? And since you out here in these streets, putting my business in the street, I'm gonna tell you, Amy. Hold on. Raise up in the Caribbean. Raise up in the Caribbean and can't swim a lick.
Oh Lord, hush. But you're not the only one. I don't know what it is. It's like I wonder if it's from slavery days and then make you afraid of water because they don't want you to escape
I,
or something. Because
I
it's
don't
not just you alone.
I don't
It's so
know.
much people don't know how to swim
I
them,
don't
don't go beach.
listen. They tried to teach me in high school. I went to 98%, 99% high school. They tried to teach me. I said, listen, this is what I got for you. I ain't swimming, but I can go under the water, put my head under the water, move a little bit, kick my feet, okay, and then I coming back over after a couple of seconds. I'm good. Listen, I'm not afraid of the water. I just don't like the deep.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like the deep. So now go come.
He said, look here, this is what I got for you. This is what I got for you.
Listen,
You come out
listen.
strong.
Oh my God. Ann Russell, you're bad. She said, the sea ain't got no back door. The sea, we don't say the ocean, we
Yes,
say the sea. The sea
the
don't
sea
have
ain't
no
got no
back
back
door.
door. That's true.
The sea ain't got no back door for real. But I love the water. I love bodies of water. You know,
Me
I,
too.
I don't mind. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in, but guess who not going further than she can stand?
Boss chick over there, boss
Boss
chick.
chick over here. I'm not going no further than I can stand. I'm telling you. If I'm going and I can't put my foot back down on that good sand underneath that water, I'm going back. back, back. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yes. So listen, people, I hope y'all had a good time because baby girl got to go prepare her kids for bed. Caribbean people put the children in bed early because I used to be that was a mess.
Well,
7:30.
we're trying, because
7:30 every night, got to go to bed. Listen, I missed the Ivy League High School because of one question they asked late at night. And they had it on the CXC.
oh.
You believe that? 4
Uh-oh.
points. 4 points. And I wanted to go to foundation. And my sister went to foundation and I wanted to go, girl. And because foundation was right up the hill from home, right up the way from home, right up the way from home. I mean, 5 minutes. I won't have to catch bus, car, plane, nothing, right? Look, school let out at 3, I home by 3:05. That's how close it was, right? 4 points. You had to get 230. I got two marks was 226 to get into foundation at that time. And I got 226. So for those of you who don't know, CXC, the CXC exam is equivalent to the SATs here. And so I got 226. You needed 230. They would not let me in for that stupid question. I was mad. How you gonna ask me something I don't know about? Be sleep at 9 o'clock. 7:30, mom is like, ma'am, clean yourself up and get in the bed. There was no up past 8, none of that. None of that. So I hope that you get to train your kids and get them into bed early like you want, and prayerfully they'll sleep all night because 7:30 is early, baby. I don't know.
It's very early.
I might have to pray because in the summertime it's light out. It's 7:30 on the East Coast.
8 o'clock, they looking around like, it's bright outside. No, we're not
go down till 8:30.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe I need to be, put y'all on the prayer list because I don't know about that, sis. But thank you so much for agreeing to come on and just have a little fun and talk about Caribbean things, Caribbean food, Caribbean grow up, just Caribbean country. Oh, I forget to tell when in the country, you're in the country because the dirt red, just as red as it can be. That's the last thing. I forgot to. We forgot to talk about that.
Yes, and if we never have nowhere to go, one thing if you know about Caribbean people, when one conversation end and we're supposed to go on about our business and go home, our next conversation starts. So really, she would have said, "Anne, remember the dirt, red dirt? Oh yes," and that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother 30 minutes because we love that.
Yes. So I'm not going to do that to her tonight. I'm not going to do that to her tonight because she got to go get her kids ready, and I got to get ready for this 7 o'clock meeting at 7. Thank you, Crowder Massive, for tuning in to Caribbean Things with Julie and Lisette.
Liz, you see how you shot my name too? People call me Liz.
Listen, big up and enough respect, yes?
Yes, thank you so much.
Listen, me I see you in the yard, aka group, tomorrow night.
Yes, tomorrow night, midday.
Midday too. All right. Thank you, Tiandra. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Anne, for putting my business boat. Make her swim out in the street.
Love you.
I love you too. Bye, y'all.
Bye.